That down. Let's move on to this. You know, Superman is coming. 5 days. 5 days. 5 days, everybody. It's happening. What's that, Michael? You know that Michael Scott from The Office?
Oh, yeah. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening, everybody. Oh, my God, it's happening. 5 days from Superman now coming. And if one of the things you had on your bingo card was watching Krypto getting punched in the face,
Yeah.
you can take it off because it ain't going to happen. Apparently, according to a story here, this comes from AV Club, and this has been confirmed in others as well. Test audiences saw a scene where I believe it's Ultraman straight up punches the dog. And apparently, the test audiences hated that. And they took it out of the movie. This is the article in AV Club. Test audiences rescue Krypto over the Superdog from getting punched. Says this: it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a movie where absolutely no dogs get punched. That doesn't mean bad things don't happen to Krypto, but under any circumstance, dog punching isn't something you may have thought you'd have to steel yourself for when purchasing a ticket to James Gunn's new Superman movie, but until recently, you would have been wrong. Turns out the test audiences are the real heroes because they apparently hated a scene where Krypto the Superdog gets punched so much that it was completely cut out of the film. Dog lovers may want to exercise a bit of caution as there's apparently a scene where Angela Spica, is that how you pronounce it, isn't the nicest to Krypto. I believe that's the engineer. Isn't the nicest to Krypto. But in an interview with Jake's Takes via Screen Rant, the actors revealed that it could have been much worse. They cut Ultraman punching Krypto because apparently it did really bad in the test screening. Sarah Sampiao, who plays Eve Texmacher, revealed. Apparently, she and Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor, were a little pissed about it, so they may be on a PETA watch list somewhere. All right. This hits kind of true home to me. The reason being is, like, me just seeing a scene where Superman bursts through a door because Lex did something to Krypto made me instantly seethe. Like, I hated Lex Luthor. Now I want to see I want to see Superman pull the beating heart out of Lex Luthor's chest. Just knowing that, right? Ray, who went with me to go see AEW last night, Ray's straight up told me many times, if I know there's a scene in a movie where somebody hits a dog, I'm not going to see that movie. Like, and I don't think Ray's alone. So I guess they played it for a test audience, and all the audience was like, you take that out. We don't want to see that happen. Now, clearly, something still happens to the dog. Clearly. But I guess Ultraman punching the dog a couple of times was no bueno for the test audience, and they pulled it out. Look, I'm okay with making some tweaks to something as a result of a test screening, as long as it doesn't change what happens in the story. Like something bad happens to Krypto, they take Krypto. As long as that doesn't get interrupted and it doesn't change your story, I'm okay. But I thought this was kind of an interesting thing to hear. Anyway, Rob, what's your takeaway from this?
Well, look, my first inclination is I totally understand why they would take it out. But on the second, my second thought is, how could you make that scene work? Like, if I was making this movie and you could have a scene where there's a scrap going on and then Ultraman punches Krypto, it could be a thing where the whole audience in the theater would be like, and then you could even see Ultraman going, I shouldn't have done that. And then you cut to Krypto. Like maybe he's rolled down and then he comes up like this, you know? And it could be one of the most satisfying scenes in cinema history. It probably wasn't done that way, though.
Yeah.
And I could see audiences, but I could see a way to make it work where it became one of the greatest scenes in cinema history, depending on what the immediate response is. But that's probably not how they did it. So it's probably best. You don't want, here's the thing. When it comes to certain moments, the reason people test screen audiences, they're great for comedies because you can find out whether a movie is funny or not. Really, you can't. Audiences don't lie when they think movies are funny. It's involuntary laughter. Mm-hmm. But if there is a moment in a movie where everybody bumps on, even if you think it's great, but if everyone or 75 to 80% of the audience bump on it, you have to take it out. You might want to, it's artistic integrity. No, the audience, it's like a record skip. When you hear the record skip, it's like, nobody can get past it. And that's when you're putting movies together, that sometimes happens. And you have to make the change because you can't force it. Because if 80% of the audience thinks it's not the way to go, you got to take it out. Because you don't want 80% of your audience to think they just heard a record skip.
Yeah.
Because they won't stop thinking about it.
If you find out and if you realize that something in your film is pulling your audience out of your film, then you have to, as long as that doesn't change the flow of your movie and the story of the movie,
right,
then it's something you got to do, because the last thing you want is having something that happens that is so distracting to your audience that it literally pulls them out of the movie.
And that's what test screenings are for.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, look, some people want to fundamentally change things. You have to know the difference. You have to be enough of an artist to understand the difference in test screenings. You know, there's a great documentary called The Hamster Factor about the making of Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys, the movie, not the TV version that Terry Matalas did. And the scores were low. The audience, Universal, knew that the scores were lower than they expected, but they knew their movie was good. They knew the movie was good, and they bet on it. And the movie came out, it was a hit. But if there are moments like that in a film that everybody bumps on, test screenings are for that, to understand how can you change things if things are playing too long. They're legit. It's not like all test screenings ruin movies. Most of them don't. And a lot of film fans like, no, test screenings are terrible. They're screening these. No, there's a real reason, legitimate reasons why movies are test screened, and changes are made accordingly. So when someone says, oh, they cut something out after a test screening, you don't have to think it's a disaster, because this is a perfect example.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Stitch Fix. Let's be honest, shopping is not my thing. I've wasted way too much of my time either in stores or scrolling for clothes, only to end up with stuff that doesn't fit or just, doesn't work. See, that's why I use Stitch Fix. You take a quick style quiz, your size, your vibe, your budget, and boom, you're paired with a real human stylist who curates pieces just for you. They send you a fix box with clothes actually fit for your life. Stuff you'll wear to work, on weekends, or wherever. It saves me time, helps me look great, and I never have to step foot in a store. You try everything on at home, keep what works, and send back the rest. Free shipping and returns, no subscription required. Oh, and your first fix? The try-on is totally free. So if you're tired of the endless shopping grind, this is your sign to try Stitch Fix. Seriously, it's style without the stress. Head to stitchfix.com/Campea to get $20 off your first order, and they'll waive your styling fee. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. I will say this though. If you want, we'll go to John Wick. You want to turn the audience completely on the bad guy and want to see unspeakable evil happen to that bad guy, you have the bad guy kill the dog.
Especially the dog that was given to him by the dead wife.
Oh, I'm telling you, I had nuns, Catholic nuns in my screening that stood up at that point and pointed at the screen and yelled, "That fucker gotta die." So on the other hand, if you want me as the audience member to really hate Ultraman, maybe you leave that scene in. But again, if it was too much and it pulled the test audience out of the movie, then maybe you gotta scalp it.
The only way you could get away with something like that, I think, is if then Krypto was able to have there's a comeuppance moment where you literally stop the film and you have Krypto looking,
Did you see Strays?
No.
Oh, you didn't see Strays?
No.
Oh God, Rob, watch Strays. So funny. So funny.
Okay.
But at the spoiler alert, near the end of Strays, one of the big things is the Will Ferrell dog. He commits. Actually, you see this in the trailer. He commits. I'm going to go back. I'm going to find my owner. I'm going to bite his dick off. And then the whole movie becomes this quest of this dog to go back and find that owner and bite his dick off. Spoiler, my God, he does it. And so, you want to put that in where later Krypto corners Ultraman and literally rips his ball sack off? Go for it. I think now there's a movie. There's a James Gunn movie for you. That'll happen. So anyway, all right, guys. Question is for you. What do you want in this? Did you want to see the punching the dog thing? Or maybe we watch it and you don't even feel the absence of it. I don't know. I mean, again, I think if you want to build in an effect to really get some audiences to hate that one villain, show them kicking a dog or punching it or something like that. But if it is taking the audiences out of the movie, maybe you need to cut it. I don't know. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.